Hey everybody, so Eschatology was up for the very first time last night, and I've got a video of it. Unfortunately, I couldn't do it solo, but I did have my good friend Krakhan help out with his two amazing Beethovens. And as you can see, I kind of screwed up the beginning of the recording, so I already made the first move, and I tried to get my Ragnarok in between that shield on the top left. Didn't actually make it, so he ended up on the bottom. But we will start with the second turn here. And I mean, this is a really this dungeon you can just die in an instant. That's because we have a new gimmick here. The shields put up this pulsing area, and basically this pulsing area is indicating where basically if you end up here, you are going to be afflicted with defense down. And the amount of extra damage it does to you while in that state looks like it's almost 5 times? Maybe, not exactly that, around that. But, I mean, as you can see, Ryoma took an immense amount of damage. And since there is that wind machine, it is sucking you into that area, so having no wind is actually pretty beneficial for the stage. Now, it's not absolutely necessary, but without it you can run into a lot of problems. So if you get rid of the shield, at least it gets rid of those regions for the defense down, but you need to get those snakes up there. You need to get them all in one shot. If you don't get rid of them in one shot, they will revive each other, and you'll have that zombie loop to deal with. We also see this new enemy with the dragon. I forget, Jade Dragon, but if you can pinch, try and do that. It is possible. Just a little bit short, but it is kind of wide, so on one hand it makes it kind of easier to get in there, but it'll also spill out. But you really should take down the dragons, because they will, if their big number, the bottom number, reaches 0, then it will attack, increases the attack of all bad guys on the stage, and that is really bad, because the worst combination you can have here is your team being defense down and the enemies being attack up. I don't think there's any way to survive that. So it's really about prioritization. Can you find the path to help mitigate as much damage to your team? Because again, if you don't have no wind, you are more than likely going to be defense down, so you want to make sure to at least limit the areas where you can be defense down. And my friend Krakhan here, he has the defense down badge for Beethoven. So as you saw, even though he was in that region, he is protected from being defense down. See that there again. So that is going to be super helpful. Now that dragon on the left is about to hit the attack up ability, and so since I failed to kill him, there you go. Now luckily 2 of the snakes were down, so maybe it won't be as hurtful, but if you have a lot of them left, it becomes a nightmare. And I've died plenty of times with the defense down and the attack up stacking, so do take care of that. And I mean, to be honest, once you clear out all of the other guys, it makes it a little bit easier. Right, like getting rid of the shield is probably the most important thing, because that really limits your open space area. But for the snakes themselves, they also, the big number in the middle, that fires off a electricity attack, and that will hit everybody. And so if you don't take care of them before that, and you are defense down, again, looks like it does about 2750 normally, and if you are defense down, it's 13.5k. So I can't stress enough about making sure you don't get defense down. Really, it's all about positioning and are you going to be afflicted with that wind. Pretty crazy. Alright, stage 3. Note the 2 snake guys on top. You probably do want to take them out first because I mean, they do attack on a very quick cooldown. Their laser also does a lot of damage. 3000 you saw there, 3700 normally, so that should balloon up to 19k-ish if you are defense down. And as you can see, all of the laser barriers, all the gravity barriers, all of these zones will end up being a defense down zone. So getting rid of the snakes first, then go for the shields so that you can at least reduce the defense down areas, and then see if you can take advantage of your positioning between Veritra and the wall on the bottom, because if you can get in there, you can do a lot of damage really quickly. Now, one thing with Veritra, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but he has a pretty strong vertical laser attack. So again, if you're defense down, and as you can see, it's perfectly positioned for you know, just wrecking your team if they don't have no wind. That wind machine, yeah, 18k, 18k, and 3k for the non-defense downed Beethoven. So, I mean, unless you are doing, ooh, that was a great shot by Krakhan there. If you're not careful, you can just lose even like 3/4 of your health in one shot. Now Ragnarok is pretty cool in that if you haven't got him yet, his strike shot lets him go through the wall, and that's every single time. So he basically warps from one side of the wall and then comes out the other. And I feel like it's really good for this stage because all of these enemies are really hugging against the walls, especially the minions. So if you can path it out correctly, you can actually do an immense amount of damage, since it also speeds and powers up Ragnarok. Of course, getting Ragnarok is another story. That is quite a difficult mission, and I'm still can't believe how I cleared that on my previous video, but one of my previous videos. But yeah, at least useful for a drop monster here. Some other good drop monsters they suggested on the stream was a Yakshni, because she does have no gravity barrier and no wind, which are the 2 big gimmicks on this stage. Alright, so back to stage. Getting rid of that dragon on the bottom right is pretty important. It does help you know, limit the damage taken, and of course the positioning is a little bit tough because they are in the corner, so if you're not in the right setup position, then you know, it's hard to get in there and deal damage. This by me probably not the best in hindsight. You know, going after the boss Eschatology was probably the better move, because you do get extra damage dealt with direct damage to Eschatology rather than, you know, by bump combos or other means. So since Ryoma has the Slayer ability, you know, going straight for the boss is probably the best advice if you do have a Ryoma. And ooh, that was a nice pinch by Ragnarok there. And I mean, Eschatology doesn't, I feel like there's a lot of breaks in terms of her attacks. You know, there's a little bit of cooldown time, so really it's, you know, just trying to tell you that, you know, please take out the minions. So we got these 2 snakes on top, and don't forget about the shield on the right of Eschatology. I did die once because I didn't notice it was there. You should notice because of the laser barrier, because in general they are on the shields, but do not miss that right one, because since it is around Eschatology, it can cause a little bit of havoc there. And that move, we were not lucky enough to get rid of all of those snakes. Maybe Krakhan planned that. I'm sure he did. He knows what he's doing. I don't know what I was doing there. That's a pretty horrible angle to try and get a pinch in between those shields, but yeah, that wasn't ideal. But the next Beethoven should... yeah, that should be a clean angle to get in there. And boom, nice. And alright, so after, yeah, that set amount of turns, Vritra is called down, and you should try and take care of him as quick as possible. That big number in the middle is, I think it's similar to, what was it, the Legion in Avalon, where it just spits out just multiple shots in a row. So if you're just in that line of sight, you're probably dead. I mean, unless I did get it once and I was able to survive it. I'm not sure if a shield activated or I was just in a a good position such that it didn't hit me that much, but it did hurt a lot. And of course, the good thing about Ragnarok is his strike shot is at 12 turns, which is really quick. So you should not be afraid to use Ragnarok's strike shot if you have it. And actually, I think I got lucky with a pinch there in between the wind machine on top and the Vritra on bottom, so that was pretty cool. But we do have to be a little bit worried here because that wind machine is going to suck everybody up, and Eschatology does have the vertical twin lasers, so if we can't move out of the way, just try and focus on direct damage like I did there with Ryoma, and we should be able to clear. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. Should be able to clear, yes, on Krakhan's next turn. So, but let me tell you, like, even though your HP is looking good, it can disappear in an instant if you get defense down and attacked. So, you can die instantly, quick and fast. Alright, first boss stage, getting rid of those minions quick is very key. Luckily, I was able to get in there with my Ragnarok. So that's first step done. Then you want to either take care of the shields or Vritra, depending on your positioning. And luckily we were able to get rid of the shield quick. And so, again, that limits the amount of defense down areas. So, Ryoma, yeah, I guess, taking down that Vritra, super helpful. And now he should be able to focus on Eschatology. And a little bit scary up there because Eschatology will move and... wait, does she move on this turn? Maybe not on this stage, but as you can see, she does have the the anger meter up there. So once you cross the, looks like 60% mark, you do end up going to the last stage of Eschatology, and it does reset her movesets. So that middle number will be pulsing if you can't get it to the awakening line, I guess. And everything's reset. And on the other hand, we do have that dragon to worry about on the top left, so hopefully you can get rid of it. If you can't, and maybe you're in like a position where that Beethoven was, you could just focus on direct damage to Eschatology. Again, it really depends on positioning, and that's the thing with these colossals, right? You don't have you can't afford to make too many bad decisions. I don't know. Like, could Ryoma have gone vertically to do weak point damage? To help out later means you have to survive until later. Maybe that wasn't the best decision, to be honest. But at this point, it's like, all right. We're not going to be able to get rid of that dragon, so everybody's attacked up. Shot And we gotta kill the boss. If we don't kill the boss here, we are dead. And probably a little bit too low. Probably could have gone up a little more to hit the weak. Move on to the next stage. Alright, stage 7 for... note that there is a pinchable region with the dragon and the shield, so that's one option. The other is to get rid of the snakes on the top left. Now there are 3 of them, so making sure you get at the same time is somewhat difficult. So if you're feeling like you're lagging behind, it's taking a little bit too long, do not be afraid to use a strike shot. Remember, you don't want to die with a strike shot in your pocket. So here, I thought that defense up would be much more limiting than it was, so still did a good amount of powered up Ryoma. Rather, I opted to go up to hit all of my friendly units to get their bump combos in. I'm not sure if that was the right decision. We were able to stop just before the awakening, so that means we get a free turn to just wail on. You could just stall for a little bit. Note that Eschatology was not going to attack for 3 turns, but no, I can't do that at least. So just went for the awakening, and of course calls down a dragon with a shield. It is pinchable, so again, if you can pinch it, go for it. If you can't, go for direct damage to Eschatology. And well, fortunately was not able to wedge. Beethoven was not able to wedge in there between the wall and Eschatology, but that's fine. Ryoma doing some extra damage. Maybe could have angled it a little more to the weak point, because, you know, really you're not going to be able to kill those shield and or the dragons there, so... we only have 4 turns before Eschatology rages. So we really do want to just, you know, focus damage on Eschatology. Forget the dragon. Well, maybe not forget the dragon. Double attacks, we probably... Seeing that, got a Beethoven and Ragnarok, and maybe Ryoma in the defense down circle. If we do get hit by that, plus the, I think it was the lightning, that would not end well. So, I think that was a good decision there. Alright, so we have 2 turns left. Ryoma... What was that? Was that a shield? I guess. Ryoma's... Can Ryoma do it on his own? You know, thinking about it, but Krakhan gave the universal sign of use your strike shot, so I will gladly oblige. And I mean, that's true. We do have 2 Beethoven strike shots in our pocket, so that will probably do a lot of damage. And again, you don't want to die with the strike shot in your pocket, so better to use it rather than die without using it. So, of course, great decision on Krakhan's part. And, you know, final stage. Of course we're going to use Beethoven's strike shot. It's so good. So OP. By the way, the snakes are in sets by corners, so you don't need to take out all 4 at once. As you can see here, we left 1 on the top right behind, but since the bottom 2 are gone, they're dead. But the top right snake will revive its partner in the top right, so... Since we have crossed the awakened meter, Vritra comes down. We'll use Ragnarok's strike shot to take out the top right minions. I mean, look at where Beethoven is. That's so good. And the weak point. So Oh, so good. And yeah, again, since that, that wind machine was in the middle, if you can't take out the minions properly, especially the Vritra, you're going to end up eating lasers from Vritra and Eschatology, and it'll hurt. I did see Shiro die from that. Now Shiro from the game with guys. So, yeah, I mean, again, it is unfortunate that I wasn't able to clear it on my own. And also gave me permission to upload this video with him, so really appreciate it. Again, it did take a while, but they do have a campaign right now where if you, depending on how many players join, which is also pretty cool. Eschatology, by the end of January, you will get a special version, and that's the New Year's version of Eschatology. And mission. So you go there, hit that left button to say you want it. Come on. And bam, she'll be in your box. And she actually does come in the 6-star version, so if you don't have the materials, you can actually use her right away. And there's your strike shot. Alright, that is it for today. Thank you for watching. It's a tough stage. I mean, being able to finish it off with 2 grand command strike shots is pretty helpful, but let me know how things went for you, and thank you for watching, and until next time, bye bye.